Kentucky isn't just horse racing, barrels of bourbon, and the Colonel's fried chicken. Behind the rolling bluegrass hills and the shining lights of the Derby, there is a graveyard of ambition. This is the Kentucky they don't show you on the postcards. The one where industry chewed up the land and spit it out. The one where boomtowns turned into tombs overnight. You know the feeling. When you're driving down a back road in Appalachia, the sun dips below the ridge and suddenly the woods feel a little too close to the car. Today, we are taking a tour through the Bluegrass State's broken dreams. We are diving into 11 ghost towns in Kentucky that were built on coal, blood, and promises that couldn't be kept. Places where river pirates murdered travelers, where the ground was stripped bare, and where the only thing left living is the moss on the foundation stones. So, check your suspension, turn off your GPS, and pray your tires hold up. We're counting down the forgotten corners of Kentucky. Number 11. Lawton, Elliott County. The tunnels that hide secrets. Kicking off our list at number 11 is a place that proves if you dig a hole deep enough, eventually you'll fill it with darkness. Welcome to Lawton. Originally, this was a limestone empire. In 1917, they carved out a 2.6 million square foot underground labyrinth here. But when the mining stopped, the town didn't just die, it got weird. For a while, they used the damp, dark tunnels to grow mushrooms. But in the early 2000s, the darkness took a turn. A brutal double murder shook the area in 2004. Then came a massive fraud scheme involving a fake data center in the mines. Lawton by the numbers. Underground space, over 2 million square feet of pitch black. Vibe check, claustrophobia level high. Current industry, silence and fencing. Picture this. You stand at the mouth of the mine today. A chain link fence blocks your path, but you can feel the cold air breathing out from the earth. It smells of damp stone and old crimes. The tunnels stretch on for miles into the dark, a perfect place to hide a body, or a mushroom farm. It's a reminder that in Lawton, the scariest things aren't above ground. They're waiting in the dark. Number 10. Scuffletown, Henderson County. The town the river ate. At number 10, we have a town that fought the water and lost. Welcome to Scuffletown. In the 1800s, this was a bustling river hub with taverns, schools, and a post office. It survived the Civil War and Union patrols, but it couldn't survive the Ohio River. Nature gave Scuffletown two warnings. First, a flood in 1913. Then, in 1937, the river decided it was done sharing the land. The Great Flood wiped Scuffletown off the map completely. Scuffletown by the numbers. Population, 0. Elevation, low enough to drown. Status, underwater or under corn, depending on the rain. Picture this. You are standing in the middle of a flat, endless cornfield. The wind rustles the stalks. There are no ruins, no walls, no signs, but the GPS says you are in the center of town. The river flows silently nearby, looking innocent, but you know better. The entire history of a community is right beneath your muddy boots, erased by the water. In Las Vegas, the house always wins. In Scuffletown, the river does. Number 9. Kyrock, Edmonson County. The town that paved the world. At number 9, we have the ultimate irony. A town that built the roads for everyone else, only to reach a dead end itself. This is Kyrock. Founded in 1918, this company town produced rock asphalt that paved the streets of Rio de Janeiro, Havana, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They had it all: hotels, schools, a stadium. But when the plant shut down in 1957, the asphalt money dried up. The town was unincorporated, dismantled, and left to rot. Kyrock by the numbers. Global reach. Once paved 3 continents. Remaining residents. Just the ghosts of industry. Landmarks, a lonely water tower and foundations in the woods. Picture this. You are hiking near Nolan Lake. You stumble across a patch of asphalt that looks too nice for the middle of the woods. Then you see it, the crumbling walls of a school where children used to learn. The silence is heavy here. The machinery that once roared loud enough to be heard in Brazil is gone, replaced by the sound of cricket. Number 8. Ford's Ferry, Crittenden County. The village of thieves. If you think corporate greed is bad, wait until you meet the river pirates. Number 8 is Ford's Ferry. In the 1800s, this wasn't just a river crossing, it was a trap. Run by James Ford, a man who played both ferry operator and gang leader, this place was infamous for travelers checking in but never checking out. It grew to 75 residents, but the blood money couldn't save it. When the roads improved and the 1937 flood hit, Ford's Ferry was washed away, taking its dark secrets with it. Ford's Ferry by the numbers. Crime rate. Historically, 100%. Survival rate for travelers, questionable. Current status, just mud and bad memories. Picture this. You stand on the muddy banks of the Ohio River. The water is murky and brown. You try to imagine the busy ferry, the hotels, the noise. But all you hear is the lapping water. It's easy to imagine a scream cut short here. Ford's Ferry is gone, but the vibe? It still feels like someone is watching you from the tree line, waiting for you to drop your guard. Number 7. El Catawba, Breathitt County. The boom that went bust. Number 7 is the classic story of Appalachian heartbreak. El Catawba was born from the railroad in 1890. Timber and coal fueled a rapid explosion of general stores, depots, and schools. It was the American dream on fast forward. But resources are finite. By the 1920s, the trees were gone, the coal seams were thinning, and the trains stopped coming. The town didn't die with a bang, it just withered away. El Catawba by the numbers. Reason for death? Exhaustion. Rail service? Canceled indefinitely. Real estate? Just foundations hiding in the grass. Picture this. You walk along the overgrown path where the tracks used to be. You find a stone foundation covered in thick green moss, looking like an open grave for a house. The wind blows through the valley, sounding almost like a phantom train whistle. El Catawba is a grim reminder that once the money leaves, the people aren't far behind. Number 6. Barthel, McCreary County. The zombie town. At number 6, we have a town that actually came back from the dead, but that just makes it creepier. Barthel was a coal camp built in 1902. For decades, it was a hive of activity. Then, like the others, it was abandoned in 1961. But in 1984, a family bought the ruins and rebuilt it. Now it's a living history site. You can rent a cabin here, but walking through a town that was dead for 20 years feels wrong. Barthel by the numbers. Original camps, 18. Authenticity, high but unsettling. Vibe, a museum where the mannequins might blink. Picture this. You are walking down the pristine street of a coal camp. The school is there, the store is there. Everything looks ready for the miners to come home. But they never do. It's too quiet. It's too clean. Staying overnight here feels like sleeping in a display case. Barthel. Number 5. Paradise, Muhlenberg County. The town buried by progress. You might know the song by John Prine, but the reality of number 5 is much bleaker. Welcome to Paradise. Once a thriving river port, its fate was sealed not by failure, but by a power plant. In the late 1950s, the TVA built a massive coal plant right next door. The air turned toxic. The coal ash rained down. Eventually, the government just bought everyone out and bulldozed the town. Paradise by the numbers. Cause of death. Mr. Peabody's coal train. Population, 0 living souls. What remains? Only the cemetery. Picture this. You drive to where the map says paradise should be. There are no houses, no post office, just a massive industrial plant looming in the distance and a small cemetery. The ancestors of the town are the only ones allowed to stay. The irony is suffocating. The coal that built the town. Number 4, Creelsboro, Russell County. The bypass victim. At number 4, we have a town killed by the highway. Creelsboro was a major port on the Cumberland River. In the 1800s, it had banks, inns, and action. It was the place to be. Then came the asphalt roads in the 1930s. Traffic bypassed the river. The town dried up instantly. Creelsboro by the numbers. Commercial activity, 0. Scenic value, high, thanks to the Rockhouse Arch. Lesson: technology waits for no one. Picture this. You stand by the riverbank. The grand buildings are gone or crumbling. Nature is taking the bricks back, vine by vine. It's peaceful, sure, but it's the peace of a graveyard. Creelsboro didn't do anything wrong, it just became obsolete. And in America, obsolete means erased. Number 3, Blue Heron, McCreary County, the ghost in the shell. Number 3 is visually the most disturbing spot on our list. Blue Heron, or Mine 18, was a mining camp that operated until 1962. When the National Park Service took it over, they didn't rebuild the houses. They built ghost structures. Blue Heron by the numbers. Architecture, metal outlines of buildings that don't exist. Atmosphere, glitch in the matrix. Voices, audio recordings of former residents play on loop. Picture this. You walk through the forest and see the frame of a house. No walls, no roof, just a metal skeleton. You stand inside it and press a button. A voice from the past starts telling you about life here. It echoes off the trees. You are standing in a town that is literally transparent. It's not just abandoned, it's spectral. Number 2, Mill Springs, Wayne County. The wheel that stopped turning. At number 2, we go back to the water. Mill Springs was founded in 1817 around a massive grist mill. The town grew, thrived, and lived by the rhythm of the water wheel. But the 20th century brought mechanization. The village life faded. The mill was restored in 1976, but the town that supported it is a shadow. Mill Springs by the numbers. Power source, the mighty Cumberland. Status: a tourist stop frozen in time. Noise level: the rushing water drowns out the ghosts. Picture this. You see the giant wheel turning, churning the water. It's beautiful engineering. But look away from the mill. The bustling village is gone. It feels like a movie set after the actors have gone home. And finally, the number 1 ghost town in Kentucky. This wasn't just a town, it was a kingdom. Welcome to Lynch. Built by U.S. Coal and Coke in 1917, this was the largest coal camp in the world. They built it to house 10,000 people. The buildings were massive sandstone fortresses. In 1923, they set a world record for coal production. But absolute power comes with a price. The company owned your house, your store, and your soul. When the decline hit after WD-4, the company started tearing down public buildings to save on taxes. Lynch by the numbers. Peak population, 10,000. Vibe, industrial dystopia. Must see Portal 31, the mouth of the beast. Picture this. You drive through Lynch today. The sandstone buildings still loom over the street, looking like castles from a dark fairy tale. They are beautiful, but they feel heavy. You can feel the weight of the labor, the soot, and the control the company had. You stand before Portal 31, the mine entrance. It's a black hole that swallowed generations of men. Lynch is still inhabited, but it feels like a monument to an era that consumed everything in its path.